Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and we're early in March now, and I really should have been pruning the fig trees by now, particularly the large one. I need to get this large in-ground one under control and keep its size down to a manageable level. I'm going to take off all these lower suckers that are coming up from the bottom, except for I'll probably leave both main stems. I could even move that one giant front stem, but I think I'll leave the two main stems. All the smaller ones need to be removed ideally, but I need to monitor the height of it because it's now getting up to about 12 feet and that's too tall. There's no point. I really don't want to have it up to 12 feet because you can't reach any figs on it, and the more the top shoots extends, the more out of reach the breba and main crop figs will be. So the pruning I'm going to do is going to be partly thinning. So for example, we'll be losing branches like this one that's starting to grow up across the other one. So this is going to come out down, I'm going to take this out down here. Whether or not I can do it with these small secateurs remains to be seen. So that one I'm going to take off there. Things like this one here and this one, these all need to be taken out right down the bottom. Take all these off here. I mean, it'll shoot out again, but it's best to tackle them right now. This one's not easy to get into because it's growing right up tight against the other main stem. I should be able to get it off. Yeah, there we are. I could use these as cuttings, but I'm not going to. But I'm more concerned, to be honest, about the height of the plant. I mean, luckily I can get on the steps on my deck while I haven't got other plants out here. But really, I need to take the top. All these top stems that are coming up 2 feet need to be taken off. Now that does mean that I won't get any brebas up here, but as they're so high up, that's not the point, because here are the brebas at the end of the stem. But the best thing to do is to cut these right back down to probably the base here, and then what they might do is they'll send up some new shoots when the growing season starts, and we'll end up with, if I take them off about there, that will encourage new shoots. So I might get some main crop figs at the top of the plant, and I'm going to concentrate on getting the brebas a little bit lower down like this one. I won't cut off these sort of shoots here because these shoots are covered in brebas at the moment, which are just starting to swell up. The only downside is we get a late frost, could cause problems, but I'll be taking out any cross branches as well. So if we look through this one here, you can see that's growing across and rubbing against that stem. So I'm going to take that one right out, lower down where it joins the other stem. You might just be able to see it. I'm going to take that out down there. Obviously I can't prune this while I'm on the ladder holding a phone and holding the secateurs, because I can't hold on to the ladder with one hand. But I'll give this a good prune back. It's still got sap's not flowing yet, which means it's a good time to prune it, because you're not getting lots of sap leaking out, which means you don't get irritated skin, but also the plant's not wasting energy. So I'm going to take the opportunity to both shorten it and thin it out, and then I'll come back later in the video and have a look and see how it's progressing and what I've actually done. Okay, so I've done now. I've probably taken about 2 feet, so about 60 centimetres off the overall height of the plant. So now most of the stems will be reachable should we get a breba crop or main crop fig on it, and it's just something I have to do each year, is to cut the plant back. Obviously I've been careful to leave a fair number of breba fruits on the plant. In fact, we can have a good nice close look now. It's a bit easy to see when they're off the plant. These are some of the stems I've taken off. I'm not going to bother with cuttings. So if I show you if I can manage to show you the tip of this, these round balls here are what's known as the breba crop. These are the embryo figs. This is last summer and autumn's growth here, and right at the tips of it are the smaller figs. Further down here and here there would have been medium-sized figs, probably about an inch across, which have dried out and turned rotten in winter. But right towards the ends of the growth you get these little embryo figs which are smaller than peas, and because they're so small they're not, and they've got no water content, they're not affected by the frost, so they overwinter on the stems, and then they start to swell up in the spring at the same time as the new growth. These are growth buds here, not embryo figs, but these three little round balls would be this season's early crop, first crop, which are known as breba figs for people who missed out on it, and they develop on the old season's wood. Then when this bud here grows and forms the new growth, any figs that develop on that would be the main crop figs, and whether or not we get any here in my garden will depend on the climate next summer. So I've basically taken out most of any sickly, thin or weedy stems I've taken out. I've cut out the ones at the base, so I've just got the two large main stems now. I've taken the straps off because I don't think the tree needs protection support anymore, and to be honest, this little stake here is not going to stop the tree falling over. What's going to stop the tree falling over is its own root structure. So we've got plenty of brebas on the tree, so I should get breba crop this year. The only problem you get with brebas is if they develop too much because the weather's been mild and we get a very cold frosty period in April, very often these are destroyed, unfortunately. So there is always a risk with brebas of losing them, but it's a large tree so it wouldn't be easy to protect it. But as I said, I've taken off probably about a third of the branches and left the ones that I think will produce breba and possibly main crop figs this year if we get a good season, but also they'll now be at a height that's a bit more manageable that I can get to with a ladder, because there's really no point for me having a 20 or 30 foot tall fig tree, meaning that I'll never ever be able to pick any of the figs that are higher up on it. So I hope that was useful to people. There's no real science to maintaining figs. You can really just prune them as it suits you to keep the size appropriate for your pot or garden, or if you've got them growing or planted. But also if you cut them back a certain amount, the new growth that you get this summer will be the growth that carries the brebas for next year, for 2025 in this case, as we're in 2024. So it is well worth giving them a trim back just to keep on top of the situation and encourage that new growth as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope that's been of use to somebody. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to my channel of course, and click on the bell if you'd like updates on new videos as they come out, which will of course include updates on this fig tree at some stage. Catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.